Deliver Me From Nowhere chronicles the making of Bruce Springsteen's 1982 Nebraska album. So I'm not gonna lie, I went into this movie knowing very little about Bruce Springsteen and his life. I mean, the only songs that I knew from him are his most popular ones, being Born in the USA and Born to Run. So I didn't know what to expect from this, as it was basically all new to me, just like how A Complete Unknown was to me last year. And ultimately, Deliver Me From Nowhere is another musical biopic that I really enjoyed, which necessarily isn't hard to believe, because if you know me, you know that I love biopics and it's very hard for me not to like them. And the last 12 months have been pretty great for me because I absolutely loved Complete Unknown. I thought that was just brilliant work done by Timothy Chalamet and James Mangold. And I thought Better Man was great, another movie that I didn't know too much about. And now Springsteen Deliver Me From Nowhere was also pretty good in my eyes. This is directed by Scott Cooper, who you may know from his other movies like Hostiles, Black Mass, and most recently in 2022, he had The Pale Blue Eye, which I liked a decent amount, and I really loved what he did with this movie, as he actually made a musical biopic that felt very different from what we've been getting in the past 5 years, because usually the biopics that are released are more focused on the music aspects of them and just turn into basically a long form music video or an all-out concert film, which I'm not complaining about. That's why I loved A Complete Unknown. The songs were amazing, and there were a lot of them. Better Man had some great concert sequences. But now for Deliver Me From Nowhere, it focuses more on the personal and life struggles that Bruce Springsteen had at the time when he was the most vulnerable, when he was dealing and trying to face the abuse and emotional trauma that he suffered from with his drunk dad when he was a child. So if you go into this movie just for the music and high energy concert scenes, you'll be severely disappointed because there aren't that many of them. You do get Born to Run at the beginning, kind of a concert sequence. That is a really great scene. I don't think it's the whole song of Born to Run. It's just like the first or second half, but that is a great scene. Very small scene though, and you do get to see Bruce Springsteen record Born in the USA, which is another great scene. But there's not a lot of high energy sequences like something like Bohemian Rhapsody, Rockin' Man, Better Man, all that. In this one, you get to see Bruce writing and making the Nebraska album, which is a more slow album compared to the rest of his stuff. But I will say that decision that Scott Cooper made with this movie to tell that part of his life worked for me, because it was nice to see something different in the biopic space. But I'm not sure how rewatchable this will be, because it just feels very depressing to watch at times. For our main cast, you of course had Jeremy Allen White playing Bruce Springsteen, the boss himself. I think he is superb in this role. He nails the singing, because he did sing most of the songs here. He didn't sing every song off the Nebraska album. He sang basically the most popular ones. As I said, Born in the USA. I'm not sure if he actually did sing Born to Run in the beginning of the film. I'll have to go look that up. But he did sing a decent part about this, and I think he does a fantastic job with the emotional sequences here. I mean, if you've seen The Bear, you know that Jeremy Allen White nails emotional sequences, and I think here he does it really well, because this character, Bruce Springsteen, in this state, in this movie, is kind of like Carmy in The Bear, kind of just like depressed and can't deal with his emotions. You know, he has to go talk to someone. He needs help. And I think he does a wonderful job here, and I ultimately think that he does deserve an Oscar nomination for this. Jeremy Strong is also very good in this movie. His performance is great. I thought we were going to get to see more of him, because he isn't in it for that much. I wish he also got to have some more scenes where he's more energized, more locked in, because it is a very melodramatic movie, so you're not getting a lot of that, but I do wish we had some of that, because I love when Jeremy Strong plays like an angry person or an energized person, like in The Apprentice or Succession. Odessa Young is also in this movie, and she plays a character named Faye, and this is actually a fictional character that I guess is supposed to resemble girlfriends that Bruce Springsteen had back in the day. I didn't know this going in, so after I left the movie, I wanted to know what happened to Faye in their relationship, so I looked it up, and then it said Faye is a fictional character that they put in this biopic, and I was so confused, because I've never seen them do that before. I've never seen a biopic have a fictional supporting character that is this major in this movie, because she's a pretty major character that helps Bruce Springsteen out along the way. They have a relationship in this one. So yeah, I was surprised about that. I really enjoyed the relationship that was fleshed out here between them, but it didn't make any sense to me why they had to do that. I don't know why they just didn't have her play, you know, a girlfriend that he had back in the day. It was weird, but I thought that she was terrific. I loved her in this role. There was a scene of her and Jeremy Allen White on a carousel, and I thought that was one of the most beautiful sequences in this movie. Every scene that they have together was great. They have some amazing chemistry. You really feel the emotion between them, and I hope that she overall turns up in more movies after this one. She was great. I do want to spend a second and talk about some of the technical aspects of this movie, and I will say the sound design is excellent. Just like with every other musical biopic, you're going to have some great sound work in here, and I will say the cinematography and lighting really impressed me. Usually when you're dealing with biopics, it's flat, looks visually ugly at times, but with this one, it looked beautiful, man. I mean, if you don't like this movie, if you don't like the story, if you don't like the performances, if you don't like the music, you'll at least go away, you'll at least, walk out of the movie appreciating how it looked, because it looked excellent. Now it's time to talk about some Oscar chances for this movie. If you remember in my early Oscars video for October, I filmed that before seeing this movie, so I had this in Best Picture. But now after seeing it and how melodramatic and depressing it is at times, I think I'm going to take it out. I think I'll put it at like 12th for Best Picture rankings at the moment. But I do think that Jeremy Allen White still deserves, and I think that he will get a nomination for this one because he is just so strong. And usually for biopics, if your movie isn't that great, I still think that you have a high chance of getting in. So I think I'll leave him at like 5th place, 4th place maybe. And then Best Sound, maybe that will get in. So I'm seeing this maybe getting like 1 or 2 Oscar nominations. Overall, Springsteen Deliver Me From Nowhere is a terrible, god-awful title, but luckily the movie isn't, as I really enjoyed it and what it had to say. Scott Cooper took a risk with this one as he made it a different biopic from what we usually get, as he made it a more personal story that Bruce suffered through, and that decision really worked for me, but it won't work for everyone that sees this. Jeremy Allen White is sensational, and his rendition of Born in the USA and the Nebraska album were great, and Odessa Young and Jeremy Strong are also very strong in their respective supporting roles. I do wish the ending had more energy or ended with a big concert sequence, because leaving your audience really sad and depressed wasn't the best idea. I'm going to give Deliver Me From Nowhere a strong 7.5 out of 10, and I will say I'm probably a lot higher on this one than others will be. If you also saw this movie, leave your own thoughts down below in the comments. I'd love to discuss it with you, and if you enjoyed this review, make sure to leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.